Hi everybody. So we're going to do weigh-ins today on everybody, and then I have a quick update for you from Chimera's vet. She called today. She got the response back from the radiologist that read his latest x-ray. So yeah, we're going to see how everybody's doing. Nice work, Merlin. 582 grams. Good job, buddy. Now, what I don't know about this man is why he doesn't want to eat. So I'm going to try him here and took him out of his comfort zone, and we're going to see if we can get him to eat while he's out of his house instead of in his house. And then I'll have to determine if that's the case, if he eats out here, why he didn't eat when he was in his house. So, I mean, something is making him unhappy in there. So then I'll have to find out what it is. Look, Merlin. What do you think, buddy? I know. Stop looking over there at Chimera and blackbearding up. This is not a posture time. This isn't a food time. Yoo-hoo. Merlin. Do you want to eat? Is that a no? Well, maybe a worm? What do you think? Worm bonanza. Look at this. Look, Merlin, look. Look at this wormy. Oh, yummy. What you gonna do? Oh, I know, you and Chimera. Chimera, are you participating in this? Well, you're giving him the stare down, so you kind of are. But you're doing all the bobbing, huh, Merlin? Merlin. I suspect this is why he has not been interested in eating, is because he is young and he thinks it's mating season, but it's not really. He's a little early for that, but I think that's what he's thinking, and that's why he hasn't been that interested in food, because the males, when it gets to be mating season, have other things on their mind, and so they're not hungry. And so I suspect that's what's happening. He's not been interested in his protein at all the last few times that I've offered it. I mean, which is okay. He's doing fine. I mean, obviously at 582 grams, he's not losing any weight over it. So he's doing fine on his greens. He managed to obliterate some blackberries the other day, so all was right with the world with him. So he'd rather have head bob fights with Chimera than have something to eat. So I'm going to have to be on him a little bit more. But he is not one that likes syringe feeding. So I think if I just show him a syringe and tell him, hey, you need to start eating or it's going to be supplemental food, I don't think it'll be a problem. But yeah, he's been kind of a lot lately. And he loves where his enclosure is. He's the only dragon in my house that has an enclosure in front of the window. Normally, I don't like enclosures in front of the window for a couple reasons. Number one, it's a lot harder to maintain the temperatures, so that's a drag. And number two, the seasonal changes have been weird because of the differences in climate change, and so sometimes that has behavioral consequences. So I usually don't put them in front of a window, but he absolutely loves it. Loves it. I don't think he could go back to being next to a wall. I think it would destroy him. But anyway, he's in no danger of starvation. You know, you can see he's a moose. So that's okay. He can play this game a little bit longer, and then I expect he'll, you know, scarf himself crazy. And so what I might try with him, if he keeps giving me grief, yes, you, Merlin, if he keeps giving me grief, is I have some frozen pinky mice, so I might thaw one out and see if he's interested in that. So that's what's going on. And you might know, since he's the only one that's in front of the window, wouldn't you know, it was his heat emitter bulb that finally went out. So we had to hurry up and get a new ceramic heat emitter so that he would have nighttime temps that were appropriate. So yeah, he's been kind of an interesting little bee. All right, I'm gonna get Ruby and get her going. Oh my gosh, you and the bobs. And get her weight down. And then we'll do Chimera last so I can give you the update. I already did Finn this morning because he ate early. So he probably won't be hanging out for this one, but he's going to be the star when I give you the facts and myths about salmonella, which is coming. So, all right, let's get us a Ruby and see what happens. Okay. All right, everyone. So now we have Miss Ruby. And I will tell you, when I took Chimera in, I had a discussion about her with the vet. And here's the reason. She is 767 grams.
Yeah.
She is 767 grams.
Oh, shit.
And so I had a discussion with the vet because I said, you know, I'm really concerned about her. You know, I've tried, increasing her exercise, but she's a tough one to get to exercise. So I said, you know, what can I do? She's only getting bugs twice a week. So she said, cut down her feeders by 10%. So long story short, she's only getting 15 feeders at a time. Ruby, look. Ooh. No? You sure? So that'll be her 10% cut. And then if she wants to have additional greens, she can, because it's hard to overdo greens. So that's what we're trying, but it's really sad because you know, she eats her 15 bugs or worms or combination, and then she looks at me like, but I'm still hungry. So yeah, it's not easy to do. Look, Rube, do you want a bug? Do you want a bug? Perfectly delicious dubia. No? No bug? Okay, do you want to have a worm? She ate all of her greens today, so I don't know if she's going to be hungry for a bug or not. She's also keeping an eye over there on Merlin because, you know, bobbing. So, yeah. Here. This is yours, Rube. There you go. She's finally figured out, oh, dinner time. So, yeah. So we're going to try that. And then I'm taking her in for a well check. Yeah, Merlin also. Thank God we have separate carriers. In end of March or beginning of April, and the vet will assess her. So, yeah, I mean, she's hard to really tell. She always looks bigger than she technically is because she's so much shorter than everybody else. You know, she's only 17.5 inches, and all the guys range between 22 and 24 inches. And so, you know, she's short and round. But, you know, the vet said, well, how is she doing outside of that? I mean, you know, what is she like? Is she exercising? I said, yeah, she's exercising as much as she's interested in doing, which isn't much. But she's got plenty of energy, and she's eating and pooping fine, and she loves her basking spot. So, yeah, she's really, you know, doing quite well, other than the fact that she's kind of getting a little roly-poly. And we talked about her before. She said that a lot of times when you have dragons that have had starvation, like she did for a couple of years, and like Chimera did, their metabolism just is so sluggish because you know, they learned since they were starving that what they have to do is keep all of the calories and all of the fat that they can out of every meal because they don't know when there's another one coming. So their metabolism just slows way down. And then, what's the matter? Are you waving at him? Oh, you got an itch? All right. I know, you did that earlier. What's going on with that, huh? I'll have to check and see. Are you finished with your bugs? Not yet? All right, here. I think that's 11. So you got 4 more, Rube, and then you have to be finished. So anyway, she's, you know, really doing fine. We're going to call that 12. Other than she's a bit of a pancake with legs. So, and the thing is, I said, well, if it does prove to be a metabolic thing, you know, what can we do about it? And she said, there really isn't anything you can do about it. That's why it's so frustrating. So, you just have to try to do what we're already doing, which is to decrease her meals and try to increase her movement. So I'm trying to get her into the playpen more. No, you're not going to go fight with him or mate with him. So, you know, trying to get to that point where she will actually move around more of it. You know, she's the worst. I tried to put her in a situation where she would chase the food. Like I would put it, you know, a foot away from her, 14 inches away from her. And I'm like, okay, Ruby, come get it. Well, within 2 feeders, she figured out, I don't need to do this. If I just take a couple steps forward and wait, it'll crawl over to me and then I'll eat it. So that's what she did. And then she wouldn't run anymore. And I'm like, oh, you are such a snot. So here, last one. You want? Yay or nay? You're not going to go over there and say hi to Merlin whether you eat or not, just so you know. Do you want this last one? Because you'll be mad when you get back in your house. All right. Oh. Yeah? No? Okay. All right, so that is Miss Ruby. Yes. And you can see how brutal her spikes are. I mean, nobody gets near Ruby she doesn't want near her because she knows how to use these spikes and it's not comfortable when she lets you have it. So, okay guys, and her whole entire tail is now in shed. I don't know why. I mean, she just had a full shed just a couple months ago, but by golly, doing it again. So, that's Miss Ruby. I'll have 767 grams of her. Miss Ruby. Yes, you are. All right, now we will get Chimera and give you guys all the updates. See you in a minute. All right, everyone. So here's the man of the hour, Mr. Chimera. So let's get him weighed. Well, he's trying to pick a fight with Merlin, probably because he deserves it. 485 grams. Excellent, Mr. Chimera man. Okay, so I played phone tag with his vet for a couple of days. Finally, we caught up with each other yesterday, kind of after hours. And so she said some good good news, which is, come on, buddy. I know. Which is the x-ray that they took this time showed, I know, buddy, it's probably going to come off right now, that the, I mean, you guys, look at that, gross, that he had last time that showed the nodule, good boy, the nodule that was in his abdomen pushing on his lungs is either completely gone or too small to show up on x-ray. So either of those possibilities, fantastic. So I then said, okay, well, that's great. What is causing him to continue to have some gaping? And she said, well, you see that bug? See that bug, Chimera? Come on, he's all you. You want him? I thought so. She said that the nodules that are on his lungs are still there. They did not change in size, probably because the lungs, first of all, are a really hard place for antibiotics to get to just in general. So that puts it at a disadvantage. But also because they might be a different kind, thank you for eating that, of nodule. But the reality is, she said, the other possibility is they could be hiding a granuloma type cancer in his lungs behind them that we can't see with an x-ray. But she said they didn't get any larger. So they weren't affected by the antibiotic, but they aren't bigger, which is great. So they're not growing. They're just the same size. And so she said if they've infiltrated into the lung further than we can see, that would be a reason why he might still huff and puff a little bit. Also, the one that he has on his knee joint actually shrunk as well. So the one on his knee and the one that was in his abdomen, which are the two that, let's face it, were giving him the most trauma, are both under control. One you can't find anymore, and the other one has shrunk, much smaller than we ever thought it would. So that was all good. Now, even if he has some kind of granulated granuloma that, you know, might be causing a problem, we could biopsy the nodules and then try to figure out if they're, you know, susceptible to something else. Here's the problem though with that. You have to sedate them. And our young man here is really not a candidate for sedation because of his compromised breathing. So that makes it a problem. You know what I mean, Chimera? That makes it a problem. Do you want any more? Oh, you're done? Okay. Do you want a worm? I got worms too. So she said that this was the best that she had seen his breathing, which, you know, makes sense because, you know, I took him in to see her. He was really bad. I would say this is middle of the road. This is about, you know, I'm going to say his new normal. This is kind of how he does. It's really not that bad. He does not spend a huge percentage of his day trying to breathe. So that's all good. Do you want to worm me or no? No. All right. So, you know, you just saw him down 7 roaches like there was no tomorrow. So he's in really good shape. And I did talk to her. She said, you know, I think that he's doing well. He's alert. He's got energy. He's happy. You know, he's bobbing with Merlin. He's flirting with Ruby. He's doing all the stuff the dragon is supposed to do. And as long as he keeps an appetite and he's still eating and he's still pooping, she's like, I'm content just to let him live out his little dragon life. So I was fine with that. And I said, now, should he become lethargic or start acting like he's sick again, you know, what do you want to do? And she said, well, then what we'll do is, she said, scoot him in here so we can take an x-ray, document what's happening. And if it's that we're having problems again with that those same lung nodules, then we will go back on antibiotics because it did respond. And so we'll just keep doing that until everything's good. But he hasn't been on anything since January 10th, and here we are, February 4th. So I think that's going to work out okay. I did talk to her. I said, you know, I'm really frustrated with this mouth rot. It has really been an issue. And she said, wow, you know, when he was in here, it was the best I'd seen it. I said, yeah, he was doing great, but like it always does, you know, now it's doing that whole, you know, cracking in the corner and bleeding thing. And so I said, you know, isn't there anything else we can do? Can I try hydrogen peroxide or anything? And she said, let's do this. I'm going to call the pharmacy and see if the pharmacy near you, and see if they have silver sulfadiazine ointment. If they don't, then they're going to mix some up for us at the office and we'll just have to go pick it up. But she said, after you clean it, because I'm cleaning it twice a day. So after you clean it, put some of the ointment just in the corners, because she said, I don't really want him to swallow a bunch of it. It's not toxic if he does, but I'd prefer that he didn't down a bunch of it. So, but she said that it will be soothing for him. So it'll take the pain out, so that'll be good. And if it keeps it kind of sealed and keeps the healing going, then all the better. So, yeah. Not exactly a crystal clear, clean bill of health, but certainly better than we're going to have to discuss end of life and euthanasia, right? So yes, he's doing really well, and that's a nice weight for him. So, and he's eating like a champ. Yesterday he downed, I don't know, 3 or 4 blackberries like there was no tomorrow. So yeah, he's doing great. He's a happy guy. He's going to bob at Merlin a little bit more, I'm sure, because Merlin's over there waiting on it. So, yeah, they're just doing their thing. So, it's nice that there's still 4 of them and not 3, because I was so worried about him. I wasn't sure that we were going to get to keep him out, but we are. We're going to keep him. Yes, we are. As much as possible. So, thanks again, you guys, for all your happy thoughts and all your good wishes, because I'm telling you, it made a difference. This animal was on the verge of being headed to the glue factory, and instead, he gets to keep living his little dragon life, and of all of them, he deserves it the most, you guys. He's the one that fought the hardest for survival. So, apparently he's not done yet, because he's sticking around, right, Chimera? Yes, I know. And you're a good boy. All right, guys, that's all the news that's fit to print here on this Saturday night. So I hope everybody is having a great weekend. Yes. Yeah, you see how his energy level is perfectly fine. So I hope everybody's having a great weekend, and we will see you in the next video. He's like, good night, everyone. Thanks again for all your good wishes. See you next time. Oh, also, I found a person who's willing to help make a mobility device for Finian. So stay tuned for that, because I think that's going to be really interesting. And I'll keep you guys posted as we're going along and let you see it as soon as it's done. Hopefully, that will make a world of difference with Finn and his fatigue level from dragging his back end around. So, good things to come. Let's hear it 2023, huh? All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.